Good evening. Tonight on the Beaver News, increased security on campus and a Navy ship with a contested name. That and more coming up next. Welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Beaver News. We're glad to have you with us. I'm Andie Judson.
And I'm Spencer Smallwood. The equestrian team jumped over a big obstacle and landed OSU a national place. The equestrian team was in Lexington, Kentucky for the International Horse Show Association Nationals. According to the Daily Barometer, the Beavers took a big step in the right direction, taking second place as a team. Senior writer Haley McGuire said, quote, "We really showed that we are doing well. It wasn't that we accidentally got it," end quote. Last year, the Beavers finished fourth, so taking the leap to second was one that delighted the team. For a normal equestrian team, riders are on scholarships to be at the university and have multiple coaches on a paid staff. For OSU, it's all volunteer hours and all out of pocket to cover what remains after fundraising. Oregon State will continue to field a strong team into the future, and a championship at Nationals may soon be on the horizon.
Professors Kathleen Moore and Gary Ferngren are this year's winners of the Honors College's 2011 Eminent Professor Award. This award is meant to acknowledge and honor professors who work with the Honors College and demonstrate outstanding OSU faculty for their academic achievements and service to the Honors College and its students, according to an Oregon State University media release. Kate Montgomery of the Daily Barometer reports that Moore is a member of the philosophy department, whereas Ferngren hails from the Department of History. Both taught courses at the Honors College during winter term, and their commitment to students and the subject sparked passionate discourse. Both professors described themselves as grateful to the students of the Honors College.
An Oregon State University football player was arrested this past Monday. He is currently being held at Benton County Courthouse on charges of second-degree kidnapping, disorderly conduct, and criminal mischief. According to the Daily Barometer, Masani, a defensive tackle on OSU football team, was arrested around 4 p.m. Saturday at the McDonald's parking lot on Northwest 3rd Street. An argument began after Masani's girlfriend would not allow the defensive tackle to throw a container of soda at a vehicle that had cut him off. The couple arrived at McDonald's, where she went into the restaurant and told him to go home. Violent conduct broke out as he attempted to force her back to the car. Masani has now reportedly been cut from the football team.
Brittany Galliendo of the Daily Barometer reports that Oregon State now has 8 troopers and 2 supervising officers that are keeping students safe 24/7. The Oregon State Police have been providing law enforcement services on the Oregon State University campus since 1992 through an interagency agreement with OSU. OSP Station Commander Lieutenant Jeff Land stated, "Our agency is a full-service police, so we take theft calls, burglary calls, personal crimes, which would be assault, sexual assault, and we are on a lot of committees, student care teams, sexual assault response and prevention alliance." OSP has liaisons assigned to resident halls and cultural centers, as well as police officers assigned to all different areas of campus. There are 10 officers who are assigned to work for the OSP, including 8 troopers, 1 sergeant, and lands. There is even an OSP SWAT team that comes to OSU every summer to train in case there is ever a situation that calls for them to respond, becoming familiar with the campus and every building. The Oregon State Police ensure that the students of Oregon State have the safest college experience possible.
I know I'm going to sleep better at night. Giant Killers is now a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. According to the Daily Barometer, the 1967 Giant Killers earned their place in Beaver football history when they beat 2 top 2 teams and tied a third 44 years ago. In light of the 2006 upset of the number 3 Southern California and in 2008 upset of number 1 Southern California, the 1967 Oregon State football team has come up most recently of any OSU team from the past. Tuesday, Beaver Nation had another reason to bring up the Giant Killers in conversation. Bill Enyart, a two-time first-team All-Pac-8 fullback at OSU in 1967 and 1968, was one of the 14 players inducted into the National Football Foundation 2011 College Football Hall of Fame class. Enyart, who was the first-team All-American in 1968, became just the second Beaver player inducted to the Hall of Fame, joining 1962 Heisman-winning quarterback Terry Baker. We're going to take one short break. When we come back, the Schwarzenegger scandal and Donald Trump pulling away from the presidential race. Stay tuned.
I'm Jeremy Call, and I made suction tires. I used a rivet gun to connect the suction cups, and then I just connected it to the tire.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your invention at inventnow.org.
When you open a book, you can explore new lands, make new friends, and discover new adventures. There are amazing possibilities when you open your mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
Real men know that getting tested is the way to take care of their families. That's why real men wear gowns. For a list of the tests you need, go to ahrq.gov.
Welcome back to the Beaver News here on Channel 26. Plato, Missouri, population of 109, has been nicknamed the Heart of America. Robert Groves, the U.S. Census Bureau director, came to Plato to honor the town and explain the concept he considers a big deal. Groves explained that, quote, imagine the country as a piece of cardboard. If every person in the United States weighed the same, you could put a finger beneath Plato and the entire cardboard nation would balance perfectly. If you stood here and looked to the north, you'd see about the same number of people as if you looked south. Same goes for east and west. As Groves made his speech, CNN reports that it looked as though every single Plato resident was there. Of Plato's 109 residents, only 2 are black, 2 are American Indian, and 1 is what the census classifies as some other race. The rest are Caucasian. In addition, you can drive through the entire town in 1 minute and 9 seconds, going the speed limit of 40 miles per hour.
Maria Shriver and her children are circling the wagons and working through the family crisis brought on by a revelation that Arnold Schwarzenegger fathered a child more than 10 years ago outside of his marriage. The revelation, published by the Los Angeles Times, came out about a week after Schwarzenegger and his wife of 25 years announced that they were amicably separating. The couple said, quote, this has been a time of great personal and professional transition for each of us. After a great deal of thought, reflection, discussion, and prayer, we came to this decision together, end quote. Schwarzenegger's four children were told about their sibling only recently, with Shriver methodically talking to them. They were well prepared before it became public, the CNN source said. Schwarzenegger has begun to revitalize his acting career with another Terminator movie.
According to CNN, real estate mogul and television celebrity Donald Trump who generated a media publicity blitz by saying he might run for president in 2012, announced Monday that he will instead remain a businessman. Trump said in a statement that, after considerable deliberation and reflection, I have decided not to pursue the office of the presidency. Trump included in his statement that he would have won the Republican primary at the general election, but recognized that, quote, running for public office cannot be done half-heartedly. Ultimately, business is my greatest passion, and I am not ready to leave the private sector.
Large containers stacked 2 and 3 high Tuesday surrounded riverfront properties in Vidalia, Louisiana, as residents and officials tried to counter-flood the rising Mississippi. The U.S. Coast Guard reopened the section of the river where it had closed to prevent damages to levees from passing barges. But officials said only one tow vessel at a time will be allowed to pass through the 15-mile area near Vidalia and Natchez, Mississippi. And they warned that they could shut the waterway again if water levels rise to 62.5 feet. The river drew just to a finger's length, beating almost to the highest recorded level in Greenville, Mississippi, as the flood continued to sink its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Levees along the length of the river appeared to be holding the water through diverted through spillways that seemed to be rising more slowly than expected. But Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal warned residents that there's plenty that could go wrong. Quote, there's still an awful lot of water headed our way, and it's going to be here in many cases for weeks, not just a few days, end quote. Sorry, folks, we're going to take another short break. When we return, the U.S. Navy considers people of merit to name a new ship. And your weather forecast for the week. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
Cole's still losing him.
Sergeant, he's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it road all the time. We just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
We just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. You'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
VFib.
Shock him.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
Horseradish. Is that for horses? Remember me, Mr. Lobster? From last Tuesday? Banana. 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 Here comes the rain. We need a hat. And why do we need a hat? They jot. That's right.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bag your lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Corvallis, and welcome to your Thursday night edition of the Beaver News.
Tell me a little bit about the history of music a la carte.
United States. We believe that giving potential customers
or cameras is nothing.
Welcome back to the news here on Channel 26.
Three out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
The elevator and the blood bank. Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends. Friends to go out with on a Saturday night. Friends to hang out with and do nothing. Friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
welcome back to the Beaver News. CNN reports that a psychiatric technician was indicated Monday for reckless endangerment and falsifying hospital records, including those of a patient who died unattended on an emergency room floor, according to District Attorney Charles J. Hines. Easton Royal, 53, is accused of not checking on patients at Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, and of claiming on hospital forums he had observed numerous psychiatric patients when he had not, Hines said in a statement. One of the patients was Esmond Green, who received worldwide media attention in 2008 when surveillance footage captured her collapsing and dying on the floor. Green, 49, died of a blood clot when she was left unattended for nearly 24 hours at the hospital in June 2008. Security footage showed hospital employees and other patients appearing to ignore Green when she slumped out of a chair and began to convulse on the floor. Royal was suspended immediately after Green's death, and he later resigned, hospital spokesman stated. Royal may face up to 11 years in prison.
Labor organizer Cesar Chavez was always ready for confrontation. And now the founder of the United Farm Workers, dead since 1993, is in the middle of a ruckus over the U.S. Navy's plans to name a new ship in his honor. Navy Secretary Ray Mabus will be in San Diego on Wednesday at the General Dynamics NASSCO shipyards and is expected, according to the shipbuilding company, to formally announce that the latest Lewis and Clark class Navy cargo ship will carry the Chavez name. The final decisions on a ship's name is up to the Navy Secretary. He considers recommendations from the Naval History and Heritage Command and suggestions from service members, veterans, and the public, according to the Navy. The company said previous ships in that classification have been named for renowned explorers and pioneers in their fields. The Chavez is the 14th ship of the Lewis and Clark class built in San Diego, with the cargo ships designed to bring supplies to other vessels at the sea.
Months after video of its pledges shouting pro-rape chants went viral on YouTube, an elite fraternity chapter at Yale has been suspended. Yale College Dean Mary Miller announced the suspension of the university's Delta Kappa Epsilon chapter on Tuesday in an email to students and faculty. A disciplinary body as the college imposed sanctions on the DKE chapter as an organization that prohibits it from conducting any fraternity activities on campus, including recruiting, for a period of 5 years. The sanctions also prevents it from communicating with Yale students by means of Yale bulletin boards or Yale email, and severely limits its use of the Yale name in connection with the DKE organization. Punishments were meted out to individual fraternity members too, the dean said.
We'll now hand it over to Mackenzie Allen for our weather forecast. Over to you.
Good evening, Corvallis, and welcome to your weather update. I'm Mackenzie Allen. After some pretty beautiful weather the past 2 days, it looks to get even more glorious outside. Thursday, expect a high of 73, sunny, and a low of 45. Friday, we can expect to see a little bit more cloud cover, and the temperature will drop down to 70 with a low of 50. But unfortunately, as we head into the weekend on both Saturday and Sunday, expect rain showers with a high of 60 and a low of 48 on Saturday, and Sunday a high of 60 with a low of 47. Monday looks to be a little bit more dry with some cloud cover and a high of 61 and a low of 46. This has been Mackenzie Allen with your weather update. Back to you.
Thanks, Mackenzie. We're going to take one more short break. When we come back, Al-Qaeda finds bin Laden's replacement. That story and more coming up next.
When life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. All those boys are much too much. Those boys.
No matter where you live, life in the ocean depends on you. Do your part to help protect it. Recycle and dispose of your trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
Join the dating game for laughs and fun.
What is your biggest pet peeve about the opposite sex?
I don't really like when girls say, "Oh my God!"
With one lucky guest looking for the answers, and if the contestants have got it, then they've bought it.
If you could be any animal, which one would you be?
Some sort of exotic bird.
A tiger because they're ferocious.
The show will get you wondering who's getting the date and who's going home. Watch the dating game.
And welcome back to the Wednesday night edition of Beaver News. An Egyptian who once was a special forces officer has been chosen caretaker, leader of al-Qaeda in the wake of Osama bin Laden's death, according to a source with detailed knowledge of the group's inner workings. Al-Qaeda interim leader is Saif al-Adel, who has long played a prominent role in the group, according to Noman Benotman. CNN reports that Benotman was once a leader of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, a militant organization that used to be aligned with the al-Qaeda, but in recent years renounced al-Qaeda's ideology. According to Benotman, the decision of the new caretaker was not a decision of formal Shuru Council of al-Qaeda because it is currently impossible to gather them in one place, but was rather the decision of 6 to 8 leaders of al-Qaeda in the Afghanistan-Pakistan border area. However, Benotman said the choice of an Egyptian may not sit well with some Saudi and Yemeni members of al-Qaeda who believe bin Laden's successor should come from the Arabian Peninsula, a region that is holy to all Muslims.
Mexican authorities said they found and detained more than 500 illegal immigrants from Central America and Asia who were crammed inside 2 tractor trailers heading towards the United States on Tuesday. CNN reports that X-ray equipment detected the immigrants at checkpoints in the southern state of Chiapas, the state attorney general's office said. The drivers of both trucks sped away right after authorities told them to stop, but police apprehended them nearby. Inside the tractor trailers, they found 513 people from El Salvador, Ecuador, China, Japan, Guatemala, India, Nepal, Honduras, and the Dominican Republic. Each individual had paid $7,000 to travel to the United States, the Attorney General said. Mexico's Nation Migration Institute said that they had been traveling in inhumane conditions. Officials have stated that the group has been receiving food, shelter, and medical assistance while Mexican federal immigration authorities reach out to consulates and embassies to arrange their return to home countries.
Queen Elizabeth II laid a wreath at the Garden of Remembrance in Dublin during her landmark visit Tuesday to Ireland, the first by a UK monarch since the country gained independence in 1922. The wreath-laying ceremony was a huge symbolic significance as the Garden of Remembrance honors those who fought for the Irish freedom from British rule. The Queen of England's visit to Ireland has prompted police to mount a major security operation amid threats of dissident Republican violence. Ireland has spent $42 million on security for the visit, according to officials. Scuffles between protesters and police broke out Tuesday afternoon in central Dublin, and the Irish military defused a bomb Tuesday morning on a bus headed to Dublin. A spokesman for the Irish National Police stated that the military has stopped a private bus in Maynooth, evacuated the passengers, and found a viable device in the luggage compartment.
That's a little scary. The Syrian government is denying claims that a mass grave found near the embattled city of Dara, a focal point in the nationwide wave of anti-government rage. The country's interior ministry said the news was untrue and is part of a campaign of incitement and slandering, Syrian state TV reported. Multiple bodies were found early Monday in a shallow, unmarked grave near Dara, an opposition leader told CNN. A local farmer told CNN that another farmer was heading towards his grove of olive trees on the outskirts of Dara when he smelled a stench of bodies. The farmer searched through the field and found a human hand protruding from the earth. Ugh. The farmer sought help from the local residents, and working with a backhoe, the group unearthed 7 bodies, 5 recognized as being from one family. Among the bodies were those of a young child and woman, the farmer said. Within an hour of the discovery, the farmer stated that the Syrian army and security forces took control of the site, confiscating cell phones of all the witnesses.
Quite a surprise to find in your backyard. You've likely heard the idiom, politics make strange bedfellows. In Tokyo, at the U.S. ambassador's residence, the saying came to life as teen heartthrob Justin Bieber, the American and Canadian ambassadors to Japan, and 9 children from the tsunami-ravaged region of Japan gathered in a small room in front of the international press. The 17-year-old Canadian pop star walked into the room with the children and squeezed onto a couch with them. The girls and boys, all representatives of some of the hardest hit communities in the northeastern Japan, shyly peered at Bieber as he made small talk with them. Bieber, well practiced at smiling naturally at dozens of cameras flashing behind, blinded him, tried to get the tsunami victims to relax and talk through an interpreter. They occasionally stared at the news cameras, unable to hide the awkwardness of being part of this media event. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for another live broadcast of Beaver News. Thank you for watching and good night.